Got the circle of death. All right. Welcome to our live stream. Looks like I'm filming through a potato here, but we shall see. Whoa! Oops! I'm still new at this. All right. All right. We got some people in here. All right, we got some people. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, guys, can you hear me? Is this better? We're trying the podcast mic thing. There might be some external noise. This mic is really sensitive, and I don't have a soundproof room like the others do. Which I tried to, manage something. I tried moving this. Whoa, that's not gonna work. But we'll see. We'll see. It's funny, it won't show my own video here. There it is. All right. Cool. We'll do some shout outs. I got the phone here, and I might attempt a call-in thing, but we'll see. I want to talk about a few things first. So how's the audio, guys? How's the audio? Good on sound. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. You can hear fine. This is the same microphone I've been doing my podcast with. I think what I need to do is I use Audacity to to record. I think I just need to up the volumes because I noticed that when I do a recorded podcast, it's not very loud. But good. Thank you for the audio report. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. It's interesting. I was on Pale Rider's live feed last night, and I talked about what I been wanting to talk about. But I know some of you don't go to Pale Rider's channel, and which if you don't, you should. He used to go live every Friday night, but he stopped. But I think he's going to go back to that. I think he should because it was kind of a Friday night tradition with at least about 20 of us, right? I tend to go live on the weekends. If you're new to this channel, I tend to go live on the weekends, whether I'm in the truck or at home. And it could be anywhere from Friday night to Sunday morning or Sunday night even. Sometimes I'll grab the guitar if I'm at the house. Other times I will do it from the phone in the truck or the phone from the house. And this time we're doing it off the laptop at the house, as you can see. Gee, Steve, while you're at the house. Well, we can get into that. It wasn't for a lack of wanting to work, that's for sure. But we'll get into that. We'll get into some things that I found today in the store. This will not be all doom and gloom. We can talk about anything. We'll do some shout outs when everybody gets in here. We're up to 20 people. My numbers don't do as well as, say, Trucker's Coach or Ike Stevens, but, we try, right? So let's do some shout outs here. We've got Pigtail, which thank you for the information on the meat earlier. Jeremy Rice, Jamie O, Eddie Drotar, what's up? Twitch SK. I don't have my glasses on. What's the word? Anthony Bressler, hello. Let's see. Jeremy Rice, thank you. No, this is not the greatest camera, dude. This is a like a 6-year-old laptop, if not older. So, Greg Zimmer, what's up? RN, how's it going? Let's see. Oh no, Mr. Bill, good evening. Just got the notice. Audio is fine. Thank you very much. Greg Zimmer, how's it going? Hope you're happy doing what you're doing. John Stroud, what's up? Grafton. Shannon Thomas Trucking, good evening. Snorelord and all. Heart. Thank you. Jason McIntyre, just keep it cool. Screw the numbers. Yes. I'm very stoked about my YouTube channel. I'm not obsessed in that little number. There's a lot of times I'll go off on a talking tangent and not even pay attention. So I appreciate everybody that's in here. So whether it's one person or 800 people, I really appreciate it. I don't think I've ever seen 800 people at once, but hey, you never know. We can dream, right? Let's see. Matt K. Good evening, Mr. Safety. Thank you very much. Clyde Garland, what's up? We got some like trucking guys in here. That's awesome. So the quantity does not equal quality. Bill, don't I know it? Look, here's the secret of having a good, successful YouTube channel. Okay. Number one, come up with a good name. Come up with a good name for your channel. Now, my name has always been based off of Snorelord. I've changed it a few times, and we can go into the origin story of Snorelord if you're new to my channel. But for the most, in short, I've got sleep apnea. I do use a machine. I only get a 1-year card for my trucking. It was not implemented by a company. I did it myself because I fought obstructive sleep apnea most, if not all, of my life. When I was a kid, I was hospitalized at times because of breathing issues. So a friend of mine in Fayetteville, Arkansas, from a death metal band called Vor, they gave me that name after spending the night at their house after a gig one night, and it just kind of stuck. So when it came to the social media stuff, it just became a thing, and that's what I've named my channel after. Now I've added the Metalhead Viking because of the beard and all that stuff, but for the most part, it's always been Snorelord. That's how people know me. Yeah. So, but anyways, the number one rule is come up with a good name. Number two, create good content. Doesn't have to be accurate. Doesn't have to be the best. It just has to be good for the analytics. Whether you're showing other people's dash cams or you're asking questions or you have little 5-minute clips of a tip of either trucking, fishing, hunting, whatever you want. You want to engage the audience. What is your audience? That's the other thing. What is your audience? My audience is primarily truck drivers with some metalheads thrown in, and maybe, hopefully, some metalhead truck drivers. But if you're not a metalhead and if you're not a truck driver, I welcome you to this channel anyways, because I feel that I have some life experience, I guess I could share. Am I perfect? No. Am I the know-all, be-all, end-all? Absolutely not. Let's. I said this microphone's pretty sensitive, but I do try. So, I've grown a lot in the last 10 years that I've been a truck driver. I've been driving for about 10, 11 years. It was a struggle at first, and I'm an owner-operator. I've been an owner-operator for 7 years now. I started at Landstar and then went to Schneider, and then now I'm at Like Trucking. If you want to know more about Like Trucking, go to liketrucking.com. That's it. Excuse me. So I don't have a mute button. Trucker Lisa, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a minute. You've been TikToking. I know. You guys went over to TikTok and stopped your YouTube, which is highly annoying, but hey, I'm glad you're here. And along the way, I've met some really good friends. I've made some really good friends, and there's going to be some noise because my wife's coming in. And I've made a lot of good friends. I've made a lot of good observations, and maybe I could share some of those experiences. So let's see. I heard your name mentioned a few times by Ratman, and that got me curious. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, Ratman's always been a big supporter. It's funny. Every now and then you find a YouTuber that mentions you. That's how I found Jeffrey Like. Somebody called me and said, Steve, this dude's talking to you. Not talking bad about me or anything, but he wanted to help me because he was a Landstar guy before he was at Schneider, and he wanted to help me because he saw that I was struggling. Because if I kept if I would have kept those old videos, you would see my Landstar stuff. And I kind of wish I did. I kind of wish I kept them. I only kept one, and that was the CB radio, which is probably my most viewed video that I've had. So besides the ELD one. Sorry, that's my dog. Let's see. Nomadic Brit, what's up? It was good talking to you last night. John Armstrong, John Stroud, Eddie Drotar. I guess Eddie doesn't work for a YouTube name. LOL, need to come up with something creative. Look, everybody gives Truckers Coach grief, right? The reason why Truckers Coach channel does so well is because of the name. If you're a new CDL or maybe you're curious about trucking, his name pops up no matter what you search. People are looking for answers on YouTube. My wife had bought me a Craftsman bench, right? And I had to put it together. Well, it was just easier instead of reading instructions, because I'm a male and males don't read instructions, to watch somebody do it. And I searched it up on YouTube. There it was. YouTube is a great how-to platform. In the beginning, it was more for creative stuff. I think more creative stuff is on TikTok now, or Instagram. But as far as YouTube is either podcasts, how-tos, or drama, or just live streaming, gaming, stuff like that. And so everybody gives him grief, but he came up with the name, because I guarantee that if it was just Jason Pope Logistics on YouTube, you guys probably wouldn't pay attention. But he's got the numbers, and he's paid decently to be a great marketer person. Whether you like his trucking style, whether you like his advice or not, the main thing is that he's good at marketing his channel. So, but whether you like the guy or not doesn't matter. But he does know how to do a YouTube channel. He's got over 200 to 300 people in his live streams, and he's got way more subs than I do. So, and just a word of warning: this microphone picks up everything. You're all right. Just don't have any weird private conversations, because I can hear you. So can the rest of YouTube's. So, anyways, let's do some more shout outs. Grafton Word, what's up? Pigtail Snorelord was pimping your channel, Pale Rider. Trucking with Pale Rider TV. Other James Best, what's up? I got to know you. Yeah, Eddie, it was cool talking to you about the sound stuff, because there was a time where I'm still a musician, but not like to the level that you might think. I do play guitar, I do play bass, and I have slight ability to play drums, and I have a pretty good knowledge of sound and how to run sound. If I had a dream job, it would be running sound for a major band to that effect, but they don't hire people like me because I don't have any schooling. I just got a good ear. So, Stuart, what's up? Desert Okie Pam, hello. We've got a pretty good community here. So, weekend lives tend to be open forums. We can talk about whatever you want. We could experiment with the phone call thing. I don't know if it would work or not, because I do have a Google number, and I could put it in the chat. But then we also got the trolls. I don't have a way to kind of weed out the trolls. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, it's at Snorelord. I posted a picture. There was three ribeyes, about a pound a piece, not even a pound a piece. $60, 58 and change to be exact. And that was at Walmart. That's ridiculous, and it's only going to get worse. And so some friends, Pigtail was sending me texts of what he's paid if you buy half a cow, and I think that's where we're at. We got an extra freezer because the prices are only going to get worse. I will call in if you like it to test it. Well, my real number, so we don't have to use the Google number. So if you want, Pigtail, go for it. Let's see what happens here. We'll see what happens. Either number works there, Pigtail. And I've got a good question for you when you do call in, because you've got some really good insight that I think needs to be heard when it comes to trucking business stuff. All right. All right.
Yo.
Can you hear? Can you guys hear? Oh man, there's some static going on here. All right, let's try this. All right, Pigtail, what's up?
Yo, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Everybody in the chat, tell me if you can hear him okay. Say test 1 2 check. There you go. Come on, Pigtail.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
All right, we'll have to hold the phone up, but I think this might work. So, can you guys hear him okay in the chat there? Loud and clear. Sweet. Ratman, what's up? Good to see you. I have not checked out your 1-lane video, but I imagine that was pretty interesting. All right, so Pigtail, if you want to, I don't know if you want to put a background or not, but you and I talk about business stuff and mindset. What is the number one problem you see with single truck owner operators in today's world? What are the challenges you think that they face at this point in time?
Oh, so boy, that's a broad question. So it depends. It really depends on the owner operator's experience in business versus driving. I've heard people say that an owner-op driving experience is about 15% of the job, and a lot of people that get into owning their own truck and say I'm a sole proprietorship, they focus on their driving experience, but their business experience is where they don't do enough research and talk to enough people to try and sidestep some of the pitfalls. So, I mean, the biggest thing I run into with the owner operators that I've met have been that they don't really know their costs of operations. That's the biggest thing. They watch YouTube videos and they know what a turbo costs and they know what a new set of tires cost, but they don't understand true operations. And everybody knows fuel goes up and down, but when I say, what's your cost per mile, literally maybe 10% of the guys I run into, or gals, know what their cost is. So if their cost is $1.85 a mile and they're taking loads for $1.60 when times are normal, they know that they're taking a loss every time. Right now, it's hard, as everybody says on their channels, it's hard to fail because everywhere you go, you can get $3.50 to $5 a mile. But that's going to flip. The normal cycle is 18 months, and it's been extended now 24 months. I don't know how much longer it's going to go with the containers and stuff, but it's just real challenging. And then everybody seems to be, one breakdown away from their business stalling and crapping out, because even if you make really good money, if your truck breaks down and you can't survive 6 weeks or 8 weeks without running because they can't get a part, you're kind of stuck. Everybody says, well, I'll just work harder, I'll run harder or whatever. Well, you can't run harder if you need a new mass airflow sensor or whatever it is. It could be a real complicated part or it could be a real simple part that can keep you from running. That's why the government's talking about doing the workaround on the ERG systems and PDF systems, because as the trucks stop running, guys are going to start going bankrupt because there's no trucks to rent. I've had a very, very difficult time finding equipment. And as you know, trailers are hard to come by as well. So, it's all well and good to have a great work ethic, but you have to put a business mind together with it in order to be successful out here. And the whole point of being in business is not to be in business for 1 year, but 5 or 10 years, and you have to be able to survive the up times as well as the down times. And I just find a lot of guys aren't planning, or gals, and they're, some of them are running their ass off, and some of them are working 2 weeks and going home for 2 weeks. And you see plenty of channels that say, hey, now's the time you should stay out and stack as much cash as you can. So does that answer your extremely broad question?
That's great. You know what I've heard today? So I had a friend of mine call me, and he priced a crate motor for a PACCAR for a 2016 Kenworth T680. Can you guess what the price of that crate motor was?
24,000?
Nope. $64,000. to put a crate motor in a PACCAR. And I believe a friend of mine just had one done about 2 years ago, and it was 45.
That's absurd.
Yep. I was shocked. I was floored. I thought he was kidding with me, and because I knew that, because I think Daniel Adami had to get a crate motor. Of course, he didn't pay for it because of the warranty, but a buddy of mine called today because he was pricing one because he's had an issue, and $64,000. So I'd be curious to know what Cummins and for a crate motor, that's, I don't know if that's labor and everything or what, but yeah, so he didn't even pay $64,000 for the truck. I mean, that's insane. That's and someone let's see, someone said I like Ratman Roden's comment. Number one rule in any business is to pay your taxes. I've seen far too many people that can earn, but they fail because they don't realize government don't play. That is absolutely true. Consumer Price Index says, oh no, Mr. Bill, inflation rate came out Tuesday. August was 5.25% higher than last year. And you can definitely see it. Stephen M., what's up? Little Bike Coach, how's it going? Chad, thank you. Lawden says, would you ever move mobile homes? Nope. Let's see, Cassius King, what's up? I saw you creep in here. Buy a whole truck for that. You would think, but I mean, there's a guy that Aaron turned me on to, and that was it Blue Ribbon Logistics?
Yes.
And that guy buys these $10,000, $15,000 trucks, signs them on with Landstar, and puts drivers in it. He's doing pretty good. It's a great channel.
He's got a couple of videos about lease offers from companies. He doesn't disclose who the companies are, but I mean, it's what everybody's talked about in the trucking world, YouTube world, which is that the leases really are almost predatory, and guys sign them out of desperation because they want to be their own boss and determine when they can go home and not. But it's such a bad deal that you almost can't win. You almost are for sure going to fail if you sign some of those leases, and that comes down to, again, business experience. Just not talking to a CPA or somebody else who understands the contracts and helping you figure out if that's really a good deal or not. I'm not for or against leasing. I'm just saying, for sure, just like payday lenders, there's some really predatory people out there that all they want to do is try and see if they can make it work for free. And a lot of guys think they're killing it, and the tax man comes calling, like Redman was saying, and takes all their money that they thought they'd keep, and then I worked the whole year for $1,000, and it's just sad.
Yeah. A lot of guys don't realize that they're only profiting about 3 or 4 or 5 cents a mile over their costs, and so it's and look, I encourage anybody who goes into a lease, like at Schneider, Swift, Werner, whatever, any lease, I don't care how big the company is. If you don't want to read the contract, OIDA and a lawyer or both will read it for you. They'll tell you, they'll kind of give you the cliff notes of what you need to look out for. And there's a lot of lease purchases that you can lose your truck. I mean, I know 2 people personally that were they were about 6 months from paying off their truck on their lease purchase, and they were fired, and they had 30 days to come up with the financing for the truck. Well, the problem with that is by the time you want to finance the balloon, you're still upside down in the truck cost. So a lot of banks won't finance that, and you end up losing that truck. And so all that money that you've thrown into it for the last 2 or 3 years is out the window. So, that's something to be aware on lease purchases. So, but anyways, if anybody else wants to call in, Pigtail, I appreciate it. You
all right.
You and I always enjoy our conversations, and we talk about a lot of good stuff, and we'll give somebody else a chance to come in, but thank you for helping me test this out. Of course, the cat's
no
coming
problem
down now, so
I will hang up and listen.
All right, later. Thanks.
Bye.
Alrighty. How many variables in that 64,000 motor only, motor and trans, labor to remove old and install new motor? Does that make it more reasonable? I think that's all in. I don't believe it's the tranny, but it's definitely, if that person wants to call in, he can, but I imagine he's probably busy tonight. That's the other thing, to have a successful YouTube channel, you want to go live at moments where everybody's sitting in their trucks, and most people are at home on the weekends. So, but we're going to put up Taco Bell's the only authentic Mexican food on every mile of Mexico when the takeover is complete. You guys remember Demolition Man when Taco Bell had won the restaurant war, so every restaurant was called Taco Bell? That's James' best perfect scenario there. Just about Taco John's. So, but if you guys want to call in, you can. If you guys know my number, either one. If not, we'll pick a topic and we'll talk about it. But I just kind of wanted to try this out. We won't be doing this every weekend, and I don't really bring this setup with me on the truck. So it's only when I'm home, which is kind of often, to be honest with you, that we'll be doing this. This is more an experiment, so I just kind of wanted to see if we can do this, because I do have one of the things of being successful. I don't care if it's YouTube, trucking, digging holes in the backyard. You want to surround yourself with successful, like-minded people. And so when you're down and out, you'll have people step in and tell you and help you and show you how they're succeeding. And they might have to give you news that you don't want to hear, and you might have to make some adjustments that are uncomfortable. But for the most part, if you surround yourself with good people that aren't toxic in your life, you can be very powerful. Which companies have the best lease purchase program that protects from being fired? Can you take the truck with you? Ghost Cat, Schneider, National. The Schneider Finance trucks are pricey, but I know a couple of people that were fired because, one of the automatic firing offenses is if you accidentally drop a trailer from the landing gear. And if that happens, you're allowed to take the truck. It might cost you a bit, but I know it's like a $1,500 fee if you want to take it to Landstar. If it's a small company like ours, it's a little bit higher, quite a bit higher, actually. I don't know what the actual number is, but I know it's several thousand at least. It used to be only $300, but they've upped that because they had a lot of drivers that were leaving. But if you get fired from Schneider, they will let you take the truck. So wherever you want. I work for Ryder. Good luck getting a rental. Stuart, that's absolutely correct. We talked about that last night in Pale Rider's feed. The rates are going to survive until about March, unless there's some major event that happens in the country, which you never know, right? But the thing that is probably the biggest threat to a small trucking company is keeping your truck running. PACCAR had to come up with a program to that bypasses the DEF sensors that seem to be going all out at once, and they're just waiting for the EPA approval. If you need a water pump for a Freightliner, good luck. If you need hoses, belts, air filters, those are in short supply now. I had to wait an extra 2 weeks for a rear end just recently. That's your biggest threat right now. So your downtime from waiting on your truck. I've got a friend of mine that's got a 680 who's been down for 2 months so far and will be down another month. I've had friends that have had to drive 400 and 500 miles to go get their parts so they can get their trucks fixed. I've had people have to scour through all the salvage yards to get DEF tanks so they can grab the sensors out of those. And And if you want new or used equipment, if you can find it, you're gonna be paying a lot of money for it. So yes, Ghost Cat, they have right now, I believe they started having Pro Stars. They do have Volvos, they have Freightliners. And I believe, I don't know if they got the 579s. I know they did away with the 680s. So talked to my international salesman this week. He said the prices are changing so fast that they change even after they've given a written quote. A new one about a year wait now. Yeah, if the only way you're going to get a new truck is if someone drops off an order, a build order. I have a friend that was able to get it on the list, and at that point, you're buying the truck at the specs that guy chose. So beggars can't be choosers, and so that's true. If you want to order a custom Kenworth right now, you're looking at 2023. Trucker Stable, what's up? Let's see. Pale Rider did change his name. I want a T680 or 579. I believe. Well, I haven't been in the new 579s. I've been in the 579 Ultra Loft, which is pretty cool. But I like the table and the swivel seat in the 680. I don't have the swivel seat, but I do have a swivel table. And so I like the creature comforts a little bit better in the 680. Is there an insurance policy that covers downtime, Jerry? No, there isn't. You can get warranties for your truck. You can get aftermarket warranties. That costs money. Usually you need anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 up front to get one of those warranties. And but no, there's no insurance. The most you can get is insurance on a tow. So if you have a $2,000 tow, you get that paid for. But beyond that, you've got to have money sitting in the bank for your home bills and for the trucking business bills. Swivel seat or walk, yep. Can you imagine showing up in the yard wherever you park your truck and your water pump has been stolen? Eddie, that's going to start happening. People are going to start. If you're the guy that parks your truck at a yard for a month at a time or 2 weeks at a time, because you go on vacation or you live somewhere else, but you have to park your truck somewhere, I would definitely suggest some kind of monitoring system if you can get it. I'm good on Blackbeard, man. I'm glad he's doing well. The price of trucks have gone crazy. They want $70,000 to $80,000 for a 30,000 mile truck. For a $30,000 truck, yes, I know a person that bought a 380,000 mile truck for $100,000. It was a Freightliner. So I mean, that's your biggest threat. But you got to roll. I mean, it's I remember during the demic that when everything was like $1.60, $1.80 a mile. $2 at best to go into dead end areas. There were a lot of people that just sat at home because they were afraid their truck was going to break down and they wouldn't be able to afford to fix it. Which to me is kind of, that's where you have to know your costs. Because you have to have that cushion for maintenance and repairs, right? And so a lot of guys, because of the money, didn't run their trucks. The government, helped out with PPP loans and idle loans and all that. And I don't fault people for, I took an idle loan. I haven't used any of it, but I took it. It's a small one. It's not like some of the big numbers some of these other guys have, but it's kind of like my rice and beans in the cabinet. It's there for an emergency. Like, having a turbo go out and not be able to, find the parts for it. So now we have such great rates, but now it's not the cost of repairs, it's if the repair can even be done. And when you start seeing shortages of basic parts such as hoses, belts, filters, the more specialized parts are going to be even harder. And so if a lot of aftermarket parts are coming out of the Asian countries, that's going to be a challenge for sure. So know your costs, but you have to have money in the bank to leave the house. Yes, that's true. Ordered mine in June, coming in late December. Got a slot that the dealer had in for stock. Good deal. Already read that. Breakdowns are inevitable. Yes, it's not if it breaks down, when it breaks down. And I've had people tell me, well, my truck's been really good. It hasn't nickel and dime me. It's got over X amount of miles on it. And what I've learned is that if it doesn't nickel and dime you, it's going to take it all at once. There was one year where my truck only cost about 10 grand in maintenance or repair. And then the following year it was 20. So, I mean, it's inevitable, as James Best goes. Are you hot? Yeah, it's hot in here. The AC was just on, so.
Yeah, it's probably just me.
You are hot.
Dang right.
I'm going Tuesday to look at a pre-emissions truck with the Detroit 60 Series 10-speed Eaton Fuller manual transmission. Triple T, normally I wouldn't recommend that, but you know what? You're on to something there because, like I said, that Blue Ribbon Logistics, that maybe you've heard of Blue Ribbon Logistics, Triple T. It's a Landstar guy. He's got 10 or 12 trucks at Landstar. Look up his channel, and he buys these pre-emission trucks for 10, 15 grand and then puts them together. And signs them on the Landstar and puts drivers in them. So can't buy filters. The dealer's keeping them for the shop. Yes. And that's the other thing. Some of these mega carriers are buying up the stock to keep their trucks running, and they have extra trucks to part out. My friend that has the $64,000 potential repair bill for his truck, he's thinking about parting out his truck instead. He can probably make that money just doing that because he already has a different truck. So unfortunately, cure for missing parts and unpalatable to most, since manufacturing creates pollution issues. RN, I agree. We've talked about that. My wife and I were talking about that the other day. Was it my wife? Maybe not. I was talking to somebody. I talk to a lot of, look, my wife sees me, during the week, during the day, and I'm constantly on the phone. Who was it I was talking to about the EPA stuff? A lot of the we're polluting the earth stuff is just a different way to tax people. Lithium batteries and windmills and solar panels are just as hazardous, if not more hazardous, than fossil fuels ever could be. Was that you?
Me.
Oh, that was you.
I mean, you may have also said it to someone else.
Yeah. It's a 2005 Classic XL 84-inch sleeper. You know what? That's the truck I learned how to get my CDL in. So yeah, that's cool. Larry Long is the guy. Was a Landstar broker, I think. Now has a fleet over there. 4 million gross last year. Good deal. Nomadic Brit says good evening.
Oh, to me?
Yeah, to you.
Oh.
You're popular.
Hi, Nomadic Brit.
He had a cool shirt on last night. You probably
saw that. Yeah.
No.
That was awesome.
But look, and here's the thing: if you're afraid of a breakdown, if you know that you're one breakdown from going out of business, you need to fix that. You need to, if you have a fear in anything, if you're afraid of getting robbed, if you're afraid of your business going out, if you're afraid of something, find the source of that fear and fix it, or at least help, mitigate the risk a little bit. Have a backup plan. You might have $20,000 in the bank, but what if you have $25,000 repair? Or what if you need that 20 grand and then, but the truck's down for 3 months? How are you going to pay your home bills? If that, and that's why I don't buy a new truck, because my fear of buying a new truck is I have this extraordinarily high payment, and then the truck goes down, and not only can I not pay the house and I can't pay the business, but the bank's going to take out this truck, and I don't really want the responsibility of $180,000 debt. So looks like Nomad Trucker's truck, same color even. Awesome. Breakdowns, unfortunately, are part of business. Right. Look, we're all driving depreciating assets, and that is more like a liability. If anybody watches, this is a trigger word for Mr. Best, but if anybody watches or listens to Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about what is a liability and what is an asset. If you go out and buy a new Camaro, that's a liability. If you go out and buy, an F-250 that makes you some money, that's an asset. But our business is unique in the sense that we have depreciating assets. So whether you want to buy one truck, pay it off, run it till it's rotten in the field, that's fine, but it's still a depreciating asset. It's just on how you want to structure your business. And if you feel a $20,000 repair is going to end you, then you need to fix that so it doesn't end you. The beauty of this market is if you want to cash out right now, it is super easy to cash out. I mean, I could probably get 30 to 40 grand for my trailer. It's in excellent condition, and I only owe I think 10,000 on it. And then of course the truck's paid off, and I can easily get 30 for that right now. So if not more. You can do a full maintenance lease with truck rental. Yeah, if you can find them. I mean, Stuart in here was talking about not being able to find rentals, and he works for a rider. There's a ton of trucks that people think look like junk, but may run dependable for a year or two. Good $15,000 investment to me if things are crazy. I agree. Let's see. I put 30K into this truck this year. It is what it is. Yeah, that's definitely. I think I'm heading that direction on this truck this year. Didn't Snyder stop selling its old trucks? Yeah, a lot of these big fleets stop selling or at least slow down selling their old trucks because they might need the parts. Major companies are stockpiling new equipment, seeing brand new Costco and Walmart trailers and containers parked at drop lots for when they need them. Right. Anybody goes through Indiana, Wabash, Indiana, you'll see all the trailers out there. So I never owned my own business, but I was told early to keep at least 6 months of home expenses stashed away in case. What should an owner-operator keep stashed so that their business remains in their hands? Obviously, to have 6 months right off the bat is difficult. Depends on your costs. You're going to want at least 3 months of home bills, at least. If you're the sole breadwinner, that's going to be a higher number. If you have 3 months of truck payments, 3 months of trailer payments, one of the ways that I survived during the low rates that we had is, and thanks to Mr. James Best, who gave me the advice, because I wasn't going to do it, but I ended up doing, is I deferred my payments on the truck and the trailer for 3 months. And that allowed me to keep my head above water and be very selective where I was going. Because not only were we dealing with the vid, but we were dealing with riots and stuff too in certain cities. So I was pretty much keeping a 500-mile radius of the house. Because, the rumor wagon, the headline rumor wagon was telling us that, martial law was about to happen or they were getting ready to close the interstate. So, but instead of being too much in fear, I wanted to run a little bit. So, I stayed away from big cities, pretty much ran Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And I kept my head above water with the deferment of payments. And I thank you, James Fest, for giving me that advice, because I wasn't going to do it because I didn't feel I needed to. But he's like, you know what? Whether you need to or not, it's going to help you. And it did. It really did. So what happened was later on, I was able to pay my truck off early because I kept my head above water. So to answer your question, Bill, you're going to want 3 months of each, your house and your trucking business. Even if you're on a weekly lease payment, like with Snyder or Prime or something like that, they will float the payment if you have some situation occur, but then now your payment next week is going to be 1.5 times higher. And so a lot of guys at Schneider, what they'll do is they'll take out extra. So let's say your payments are $1,100 a week, they'll take out $1,500 a week, and then the extra money is put in the bank on Schneider's side. So when you do miss a week, or you have a bad week because of a breakdown, or you had to go home, or you just want to take a week's vacation, you're not coming back out in the hole. All it takes is 2 weeks of not being able to make that weekly payment for you to get behind enough that you never catch up on a weekly high dollar payment. Let's see, I've already read that. Almost 25 years in trucking, and the truck I have now has been in the shop more than every truck I've ever drove combined. And Triple T, you're hard on that truck. I mean, I know how hard you run. I mean, you're when you're out, man, you're out, dude. And so you demand a lot from your truck, and that's another big factor. If you put your truck, if a person puts their truck through the ringer, if you're doing 45,000 pounds in the upper Northwest all the time, your truck's going to ask for money more often than the day cab that's doing local work on a flat ground. So there's that. Let's see, an unpopular statement, but OTJB might be on the right track about getting an older truck. Rick, I agree. I do. Let's see, silver's way down. We forgot to go get some silver, James Best, on Friday, and the place that we go to is only open between Wednesday and Saturday, and they were closed at noon today, so we missed the boat on that. But and they're not open on Mondays, or else I grab some Monday, because I don't go out till Monday afternoon. So run local, have mechanics on deck, and stack cash. Run for a month. Stay close to home where you have access to mechanics, and don't get robbed over the road from shops to tow companies. Survival. I agree, Eddie. I have trust issues with other shops. I've had experience with CIT Kenworth. They're the ones that put my turbo on my Peterbilt, and they did all right. They cut down the labor on me, which was nice of them, because they knew I was hurting, right? Kenworth here in Springfield has been good. I got them to knock $300 off the current bill that I just paid a couple of days ago. So same place where Jeff got his Volvo. Awesome. I thought they weren't doing those anymore, Matt, sorry. I'm with Snyder, and we still have 2015s running. Yeah, you're going to see more of that. And RN, I'm glad to see you at Snyder. That's a good deal. Snyder is selling their 2012 vans now for $30K. That's insane. That was a $12,000 trailer just 4 years ago or 3 years ago. That's crazy. I saw a 2016 Great Dane go for $55,000. That's a 26. I got a 2018. If someone wants to give me $55,000 for my trailer, I'll take it. I'll run power only. So, yes, they are all spring ride, Eddie. And I've only seen a few Raycons that said they had to be an air ride trailer. I know that Schneider was in a lawsuit because something expensive got damaged. It's like, yeah, you put this multi-million-dollar thing in a crusty spring ride trailer. What did you expect? Especially if you're up there in the Chicagoland or Michigan area. I would take a Werner trailer versus the Schneider trailer. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're about equal. My driving style is softer now than 15 years ago. Emissions trucks are just junk. I agree. Look, I would love to see the old days come back where you can idle a truck for 12 hours straight and not worry about what's happening to the DPF. I would trade fuel mileage for not dealing with sensors and DPF issues. I think I'm at that point in my career, old school. And you never know. There might be some for sale signs at the Joplin Truck Show next weekend, I guess. Dropping my truck off in International tomorrow for a coolant leak at the hoses on the rear passenger side. Well, good luck. I hope they have the hoses, or at least modify something to get you on the road. So, and then you don't plan on getting back on the road till October. Is that correct, Mr. Best? Oh, right. And and Mr. Best does have an advantage. He has a Cummins, so he's not reliant on it. Look, that's the only thing. Like he trashes Packard all the time, but the reality is, my only issue with Packard is that it has to go to a dealership if it's an engine or computer issue. Um, that that could be costly and annoying. So, and if it's not a safety issue, I always try to get everything done here at home, because obviously it's going to take. I'd rather do 2 or 3 days at home than 2 or 3 days on the road at a hotel dealing with that. So, not a sensor thing. Well, but hoses are in short supply. Big Rig CO, he just paid to have a hose party on his reefer unit, and he got the last of the hoses that carrier had. So, I wonder if the ports are working overtime to unload containers, or are the workers sticking to the same schedules before backup? I don't know, Clyde. I downloaded an app called Marine. See if I can find it here. It's called Marine Traffic. And it's pretty cool. See if I can show it here. I just have it on. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but all the green dots, those are all cargo ships. It really puts everything in perspective when you see that. But it's called Marine Traffic. That's what it looks like around China. That's China, guys. And then if you want to go to the LA port, that is the LA port right there. That is the LA port. That's just one of many ports that are backed up. Let's look at Savannah, Georgia, which is another port of entry. That's Savannah, that big green glob. There's probably about 20 ships there. There's a close-up of it. Let's see. Let's look at what's another port. I thought Pensacola was a port, but it's interesting that there's only one ship there. I've picked up out of the port in Pensacola area. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I don't know what this looks like on a normal basis, but I'm pretty sure that things are backed up. It just kind of puts in perspective how much freight is really out there. LA Port set a record of 68 ships waiting to unload. That's incredible. I deleted the hose to Monk a couple of years back. Well, that's good, I think. So I don't know if they're working overtime or not. Even if they are working overtime, one vid case will slow everything down. Or if they only got half the trucks picking stuff up out of the ports, I mean, it's a mess. Looks like air traffic. It does. Green spots are cargo ships. Yes, I've got it only set for cargo ships and tugboats. You can do tankers too, but so. Bill says LA ports are way behind. I believe that Biden allocated federal money to help them improve cargo improvement. What's up, Dice Man? How's it going? Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, let's look at Mobile. We can look at Mobile if you want. New Orleans has got quite a bit going on. That's what Mobile looks like there, Triple T. Sorry for the glare, guys. Again, I'm sorry for the potato camera. Let's see. CAO Brazilla over here, James. This old guy has to go get her, but Steve. Okay, this old guy has to go as got an early start, but Steve and the missus and everyone stay safe. You be safe there, Nomadic Brit. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the conversation we had last night on Peel Rider TV's channel there. If you switch to tankers, you'll see a lot in the Gulf. Yeah, there's yeah, we can turn that on if you guys want. Let's see here. Boink. All right, red or tankers. That's around New Orleans. That's the Gulf of Mexico, actually. So yeah, so looks like someone spilled a bunch of Christmas Skittles, Christmas M&Ms, all over the map. So. Moving containers must be pretty lucrative right now. Yep, that's true. All the refineries in Texas. Yeah. Look, here's the deal. So it's not doom and gloom if you can prepare. Oh, I'm getting the circle of death. Am I getting the circle of death? It's not showing us. Well, I'm behind on my own live feed here. It's showing good, so okay, we're good. But anyways, here's the thing, guys. You have to take your fears and figure out where that fear comes from. And for example, when I first started, that's funny. My wife and I were talking, should we buy a truck? Should we get into this whole deal? And she said, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? They could take our house away. And she was acting like that wouldn't be a problem. Well, I had a problem with that. So
not that it wouldn't be a problem, but just that it's not like they can kill us and eat us.
Right. Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, yes.
And I have a friend that happened to. They ended up taking his house because he had to file bankruptcy, and I vowed that I would not ever put myself in that position. So people are like, well, Steve, why don't you do like a home equity loan to buy a new truck and blah blah. I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am blurry, Dave. I'm always blurry. Hobby Lobby has all their Christmas stuff out today. Look, I went to the DAV thrift store today, and they have more Halloween stuff than the Halloween stores around here because it's last year's stock. So
I think for Hobby Lobby that might be not too abnormal for them.
Yeah.
Because they cater to crafters, and you have to start in advance if you're making your own stuff. But they do sell like pre-made decorative stuff, and I think they just put everything all out at once.
Yeah. So there you go.
So
Crafton says, I thought Hobby Lobby had Christmas all year long. Never cross streams with business and personal. Right. That is true. You never look. When I almost bought a new truck, I needed an extra 10,000 down compared to, on top of my trade-in that I had from the Peterbilt. And the guy's like, okay, you've been approved. We just need extra 10 grand down on top of your truck. I'm like, I don't have that. He's like, oh, well, can you get it? I'm like, nope. Can you get a loan? I'm like, I can, but I'm not. Oh, well, I said, let's look at our used options. And that's when I found the truck I got now. Which was a better choice, I think. I think I did all right with that. It wasn't as daunting. And I think that I think I made a good decision. But I had people calling me, telling me, oh, get a loan from your bank, get a loan, get a home equity loan off your house and blah, blah. I said, no. No, we're not doing that. So mitigate the risk. He's doing good, staying busy with the concrete business, I bet. That's why Mrs. Snorelord is sitting next to you. I would never put my home at risk for a business.
I'm sitting here to answer all Hobby Lobby related questions. That's me. I'm glad I'm good for something.
You are good for something. T680s and green rule. Man, the paint's starting to peel. I got on the nose, man. It's starting to look pretty ugly there. So, like Ghostbusters, never cross streams with business and personal. That's absolutely true. What's Trucker's Table? How's Blackbeard? Okay, we already read that. Let's see. That's good. Trucker's Table. Tell him I said hi. Yeah, he needs to go back to advanced. He needs to go back to joining us. I think that'd be cool. I miss his old videos there. So.
Oh, I don't know that. I have no idea.
I have no idea, RN. There's a lot of companies that said they were going to enforce that, and they haven't, for fear of the backlash. And there's starting to be some backlash. I mean, there's some famous people that are starting to kind of counteract that, the narrative, and I believe it's going to go in a different direction. My wife could be a Hobby Lobby advisor also. Yeah, it's not like we spend a whole lot of money and time there. But,
I would if I could.
Yeah. Hobby Lobby to her is probably like Bass Pro to me. So.
Yeah, or what's that tool store you like?
Oh, Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
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 Tons of lawsuits, right? And I think everybody's going to be sensitive. I think like Tyson, instead of making outside carriers have the card, I think they're just telling them to stay in their truck. Now, I deliver to Tyson all the time, and they haven't said a word to me. They've never asked me or anything. So, Bass Pro, yeah. Yeah, Bass Pro's been pretty good on the Freedom Pills here lately. I've been stocking up on those. We're doing pretty good. So, but. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed the phone call aspect. We can do more of this in the future if you want. I know I seem trendy by doing the podcast thing because that's what everybody else is doing. But you know what? It works. The numbers work. I mean, I've got 40 people in here, and we're engaged in conversation about nothing. So I like this. I like being able to interact with everybody. So, and it's not like the phone's ringing off the hook because only a few people have my number. So that's kind of what I'm limiting to. Doing call-in shows. Yeah, Dice Man. You want to call in? You got something you want to say? See if I remember my Google number for you guys that don't have my number. If you do call, I appreciate no negative language. We're not other trucker James best here. I do have kids that do watch this channel. Let's see, contacts. I think I put it under Snorelord Google number. Yep, there it is. All right, let me put this number in here. 1501. Oops. Loves the steering wheel desk. I'm glad you like that, Eddie. The one with the beanbag stuff that you do. Sorry, I was reading something that you have that put on your lap for the sleeper. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd use that. I try not to stay in the back of the sleeper too often unless I'm going to bed. It's just when you're a overweight guy, it's just too uncomfortable. 501 817-4015. See if that'll. That was actually for the pull-out desk. Just joking, I'm here listening. No, you don't want to call in. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to call in either. But I do enjoy the conversations that you and I have. But if anybody wants to call that number, we can try it. That's my Google Voice number, which I've never used on the receiving end. Well, I take it back. I've talked to Charles on that. Charles is a good dude, so I like it because it has a mouse pad and surface for the laptop. I really, you know what? I take my laptop on the road, and very rarely do I open it. Like, I think I've been on the DAP board on the actual website like 3 times. I don't have an unlimited plan on my Wi-Fi as far as like hotspot, and it's just easier to use the phone. I have 2 phones. One's a business, one's personal, and it comes in extremely handy. Anyone know if the boneyards have been picked clean of parts, or can we still get used parts for trucks? That's a good question, Pigtail. You know, all I know is I'm glad I parked my truck at home. I bought the Microsoft Surface with LT. I've been looking to maybe possibly getting a new laptop at the beginning of the year. So I can start fresh, you know, have something a little bit more powerful to edit videos. Oh man, I'm just to go overpay for a water pump. Yeah, you just had to overpay. How much did you have to overpay there, Dice Man? What did that cost you? I'm very curious. And where did you get it? Is that at a Freightliner dealership, or did you have to talk to Guido behind the alley there to get it? 1,800. How much are they usually? Do they make locking hood latches? No, but you can modify that pretty easily. Now, at a Volvo, I think you got to open the cab up to be able to pop the hood. But most trucks, you can open the hood. eBay, wow. They're $1,800. What are they normally for your year Freightliner there? Has a dedicated internet line. That's cool, Eddie. I might look into that. I will say this. If you use your laptop to put in your numbers for your business, make sure you get a laptop that has the number keypad on the side. Make sure you get that, because if not, you're going to hate life. 600, the way I look at it, was overpay or lose thousands. Wow. So it went from 600 to 1,800 because of eBay. That's crazy. And hopefully you got the right part, or hopefully you're getting the right part. But, you know, one has to ask why all these depth sensors are going out at once. You know, in the last month, it seems like, boom, it's happened all at once. So is our depth contaminated? Is there, you know, and majority of the chips that are having issues, at least in the PACCAR world, is from years 2016 to 2022. it doesn't seem to be affecting the 2014s and 15 as much, which is good news for me. Please back up your laptop to the cloud or an external drive. Yes, I do that. I do that. A friend bought a water pump for a Packard today, and he paid $540. Well, that's not too bad. I don't know what they run normally. Packard is weird. They're either proud of the part, and then the labor's nothing, or the part's pretty cheap, but the labor's stupid. I just had to have a $100 part with 3 hours of labor attached. So it's like just they get you one way or another. So. But so anything else you guys want to talk about? If not, we'll end this feed. If you guys want to call in, someone wants to call in, you can. I believe it's the whole non-cursing thing that people are afraid of. He said his water pump is belt driven. Huh, that's interesting. Dave, you're in Springfield? I'm in Springfield getting some Packard parts right now. Can you come out and hold the flashlight? You're funny, Dave. Anytime I go to a dealer around 3,000, I can't sneeze at a Kenworth dealership without paying at least $1,000. I'd say they're thinning the DEF because they can't get as much in green for DEF than they used to. Yeah, that's the theory that's out there, Clyde. I believe that. And so the higher it's going to higher temperatures, which is what's frying these sensors. But regardless of what the origin is, what the intent is, whether it's on purpose or on accident, either way, the result is that the trucking industry could easily be put at risk if all the trucks go down for the same thing at the same time. You want to cripple a country, shut these trucks down with no choice. And you're going to see a lot of trucks come out of the fields, and you're going to see a lot of Mad Max Frankensteining going on with these old trucks that have been sitting in fields for years. So, which is fine by me. I'm up for the Mad Max world. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm a big Mad Max Road Warrior fan, if you guys didn't know. So. RN, they're already way ahead of us. They're already way ahead of us. I mean, it's brilliant if you think about it, to be honest with you. But it could be just a coincidence. But if something doesn't make sense, there's a reason, right? Another reason to go pre-emission stuff is 340 gallon. Yes, Triple T. I've noticed that. Now, if you can go to a mom and pop to get your DEF, I think you're going to save about 20 cents on the average a gallon. But if you are, if you're buying it at the chains, it's up to 340 a gallon now, which is stupid. Thunderdome, 2-man enter, 1-man leave. Be forced to do a demandate on EPA equipment rather than sit and wait for months. Right, and at what point will we be allowed to say that these DEF trucks are hurting the industry versus helping? Because I think they've hurt the industry. Think about how DEF fluid is packaged if you're not buying it in bulk. It's in a box in a plastic bottle. That's really environmentally friendly, isn't it? It's corrosive. It's crusty. It smells funny. Yet it's good for the environment. I think it's a good way to make money because these engines are getting a lot more reliable. Parts are lasting longer than they used to. It's not a problem for an engine to get up to 1 million miles without needing to rebuild. However, it's the emissions that are killing these trucks. People that I know that have deleted their Cummins engines, their fuel mileage goes up, the power goes up, and the trucks act like it's supposed to, like the old school ways. I pay drivers after every load, so I have to have something mobile and can't stand henpecking on the phone, so invoice and put loads in the Microsoft Surface. Well, that's good. I definitely, if I had more responsibilities than I needed my laptop, I mean, I have my laptop in the truck. I just don't open it up very often, unless a driver needs something with the logs, and usually I can take care of that on the phones. Let's see. Slow parts from China. Truck sitting for 3 months. Store shelves empty. Civil unrest. Breakdown of society. Right. Report came out that DEF fluid is killing the bees. Possibly. You know what? If that's the case, then it just proves that it was all a scam. And that everybody that look, Navistar was the only ones that fought the whole DEF thing. They took everybody to court over that stuff, and that's why the Max Force engines are junk, because while everybody was working on their emissions engines, you know, Navistar was like, we're going to sue everybody because this is a bunch of crap, and Cat was like, we're out, we're not doing this anymore. So DEF suck in general. I run a truck driving school, and our trucks go down constantly due to our idle time and its effects on the DEF system. Michael, I was wondering about that because I was just talking about that to somebody today, I believe, or yesterday, about I wonder what trucking schools trucks do, because you're not going anywhere. There's no chance to burn. Even if you are on the highway, you are light. You're empty, you know? So, you know, please tell me the be deaf thing is a joke. No joke. Look, if they can prove that, then guess what? We can all delete our trucks and be happier, and we could save the bees. So another reason to get a pre-emissions truck. The emissions isn't any better trading one crappy thing and replace it with another. Look, we can prepare for a new turbo. We can prepare for a new clutch. We can prepare for a new engine, new head, whatever. You can have the perfect maintenance on a truck, but that DEF system, you can't idle the truck, which, you know, adds cost. You know, so you either idle the truck and deal with more wear and tear on the truck, or you buy an APU, which is $10,000 to $12,000 in and of itself. And either way, these DEF systems cost money. I would not have an APU if I didn't have to deal with the DEF system. If I bought an old truck tomorrow, I wouldn't put an APU on it. Nothing against APUs, but it's an expense. And will it save me on fuel? Yeah. But, you know, the savings on fuel money goes out the window when repairs cost out the ending for an APU. And those of you with Thermal Kings probably are very familiar with that. Rumor has it that they're coming out with a regen system that doesn't require DEF. Well, they used to have one. The 2009 engines didn't have to have DEF. My Peterbilt had a DPF system that didn't require diesel exhaust fluid. So there you go. Tests showed that exhaust degraded some fluorescent chemicals the bees home in on when they are foraging. The study published in Scientific Reports also revealed that a specific group of chemicals found in diesel exhaust, known as NOx, diminished the insect's response to fluorescence. October 3rd, 2013.
2013, and no one's done anything about it?
Wow.
Oh.
My wife likes bees, by the way, so just let you guys know.
Well, I mean, if we lose pollinators, we lose a huge chunk of the food that we rely on as people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're awesome in their own right, but we really depend on them.
What kind of APU there, Trucker Stable? You wish you had an APU? Look, you know, I'm all about the carrier. I mean, I will badmouth Thermal King for forever. But that's just my experience. Some people have Thermal Kings and they do okay with them, but never, ever, ever buy a used APU. Ever. Just not willing to spend the cash. I've talked about getting one. Just can't pull the trigger. Right. It's 10 grand. 10 to 12 grand, depending on what you buy. And if you buy one for $5,000 because it's used, you're going to put another $5,000 in within 6 months to a year. So you might as well just bought a new one. I'm taking care of your DEF system now. Hold the flashlight. Because the other compounds found in urine, peeing in a DEF tank could ruin the filters and the whole SCR system if used too often. The systems also won't be able to do their job of neutralizing. Someone must have asked about peeing in the tanks there. Heavy metal trucker. I like the name. These old exhaust systems were like a catalytic converter. Those things would catch on fire a lot. Yeah, I mean, you can't do a park regen over a field if you got an exhaust pipe that's on the ground. If you're in a grassy knoll and you're trying to do a park regen, you risk setting your truck on fire. Nah, I've got cameras, Bill. Ain't nobody in my yard right now. I think it's an off-brand, not carrier or tri-pack, but he said it works. If it's a rig master, good luck. I'll say a prayer for you. If it is a Dynasis, I will also say a prayer for you. If it's the green APU, then you might be in luck. If it's one of those electric EPUs, then I've heard good and bad about those. But at least it won't cost you thousands of dollars. To their job of neutralizing carbon emissions from the diesel exhaust 7 days ago. I don't know about, look, I could be wrong, but if you notice on some of the sides of the highways, the busiest ones, you notice that maybe it's because they're spraying a chemical to keep the plants from overtaking the interstate, but it seems like a lot of the shrubbery, the greenery around the sides of the interstate is kind of dead. Just saying. Wouldn't surprise me. But windshield washer fluid that contains ammonia will do it in a pinch. It contains less AA than needed, but will get you to a town where you can get DEF. January 19, 2012. One of the things that Navistar tried to prove is that you can put water in the DEF tanks and there would be no different response. And they were wrong, of course. But they had actually accused Cummins and Detroit of doing that. Like, these things will run off water. It's all a scam. And while they're on the right track, it just didn't work out. So Max Force was kind of thrown together at the last minute. Well, you saw the results of that. So, but I always keep when I got my first truck that required DEF, the company gave us 2 gallons to keep on the truck at all times because not every pump had DEF. So, but here late, I think in the last 3 years, I think it's hard to not find DEF. Now the DEF pump's working. That's a different story. I've had to buy a box or two in a pinch. Let's see. Wow. I lived in Georgia when kudzu was taken over. They sprayed and killed all the kudzu and exposed all the trees that were killed by the kudzu. I don't know what that is. No, that dynasty thing sounds familiar. At least the infrastructure there is. Maybe if I have to upgrade, it won't be as expensive. I've got a friend with a Dynasis, and he's dealt with some things, but I think for the most part, he's been able to get back online. Urea is an organic compound produced when a body metabolizes protein. And yes, we expel it as urine, but despite DEF earning the nickname pig urine, diesel exhaust fluid is actually made of commercial-grade synthetic ammonia and carbon. This is ammonia that breaks down and neutralizes the NOx gases, November 28, 2018. And I know Pigtail, he does his homework. Huh?
I was laughing at Grafton's.
Interesting, Pigtail. And
the science the hell out of it.
yeah, we did science the hell out of it.
Well, Pigtail did.
Pigtail did. Yeah, he's good at that. Yeah, and maybe that compound's changed, and that's why all these trucks are going down all of a sudden. So, but man, we still got 40 people in here. You guys want to call in? If not, we'll talk about something else. If not, we'll end this live feed. We're at an hour and 25, which I usually don't like going over an hour, but we're doing it tonight. Sorry, I'm not on the guitar. If that's what you wanted to hear, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. I've got a video of one of our trucks doing a regen, and it smoked so bad you couldn't see across our lot, and wonder how that's better for things. Right? You love nerd stuff, Grafton? But
I think as far as like, oh, we have to do this, it's better for the environment, I think that bears a lot of resemblance to like some of the current rules and regulations we have to live with for, you know, the health situation. It's just appearances.
yeah.
Like, well, and like the lithium, like, oh, let's all buy electric cars because it's so good for the environment. And let's completely disregard what lithium mines do, because that happens in Africa. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think of electric vehicles, right? What's electricity powered by? Fossil fuels, water, coal, and lithium is horrible for landfills. So, no, I do not play online games at all. Overdosing can result a partially open DEF injector nozzle plugged, your DEF lines, or DEF pump issues. Topping off your DEF system with hard water can also result in scalar deposits forming. Contaminated DEF can cause abrasion of the DEF pump. July 14th, 2021. There you go. Atomic energy, yep. Don't thin out your DEF fluid. I've never thinned it out. I would never do that. We're going to be out of oil in 50 to 60 years. Everyone will have electric vehicles. Well, hopefully by then we'll come up with some other power source that won't be so bad for the environment. But right now, most green things just make people rich and make people poor. Politicians giving,
Rearrange the problem.
I
Nothing solves anything, but
yeah, rearranging the problem. You know, I think that if I can look back at the 2 trucks that I've owned in my career, I think I can honestly say that 70 to 80% of the repair bills have been based around DPF systems and EGRs. Politicians gave, oh yeah, I already wrote that. So imagine nuclear trucks, the way we drive. Green power is feel-good power. Nuclear power is the way to go. I don't know about that, but we're not going to solve the world's problems, especially from a microphone on YouTube. But do they make carbon cleaner for diesel engines? I don't know, Ghost Cat. I've never dealt with that. Basically, you're going to want to prepare for the future. You know, just know that your truck could go down and it could cost you money, but it could also cost you time. And are you prepared for that time? You know, keep extra food and water in your truck. Keep extra food and water at the house. I think Christmas is going to be kind of bare this year. And if you're out in the spot market, enjoy the rates, man. Enjoy the rates while we got them. Oh, I'm talking about okay. Yep, meltdown on 70 highway today will be a regular headline. You're right. Just like pistachios, as we deplete easily drilled oil reserves, oil gets harder and harder to extract. As it does, market prices rise to reflect this. We will never actually run out of oil in any technical or geological sense. That's why I like Pigtail, man. He's a very smart individual. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll end this live feed. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. I think it's been a decent discussion. Give me a thumbs up. We got 25 thumbs up. Let's make it 35. I think the words I'm supposed to say is smash the thumbs up or something like that. And I appreciate everybody. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. If you like this podcast style, we'll do more of these when I'm at home. It won't be every week, but it'll be more often than not. And I believe I'm going to fix some microphone situations so I can do recorded podcasts. So, guys, stay observant. If something doesn't make sense, figure out why. If you have fears in your business or in your home, find out where that fear comes from and face it and conquer it. Rise above it all. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And say bye, Mrs. Snorelord.
Bye, guys.
Later.
It's